everyone, and welcome to TWF NXT. I, Gorilla Monsoon, with Pat McAfee and Booker T. And today on NXT, well, we're first going to talk about what happened yesterday on Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Raw. Yesterday, we saw The Rock in handicap matches, because it came out that The Rock and Sonya Deville were both the ones behind, beating up Theodore Long and putting him out, which led now to Autolycus, the King of Thieves, being the new main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering. Well, I can tell you one thing, Gorilla Monsoon. The way things go right now, I wonder how Autolycus is going to handle, all the things that happen. I mean, yes, he's handled the Rock thing, but how is he going to handle all the other things? Well, I still believe at the end of the day, Booker T, because Gorilla and Pat, I still believe that Sonya Deville and The Rock were set up. That they did not do what folks said they did, to Theodore Long. Well, you can believe whatever you want, Gorilla Monsoon said, but the film had the truth in it. And so, yes, they did do it. Now, would you stop? Well, here comes Autolycus, the King of Thieves now. Alright. Since that is my night and my full week of being the main wicker of the toy wrestling gathering, I do want to say, at the end of the day, we will bring The Rock to right. And Sonya Deville, since they both were the ones that both did what they did, to Theodore Long. I mean, the film shows it. But they can lie all they want and say, oh, it wasn't them, it was someone else. And that really ain't gonna back up any of that. Well, it looks like now that we have Luke Gallows and Kyle Anderson here. We're one of the very few tag teams out here, who truly thinks they should, we should be getting a shot for the TWF tag team winnings. Well, speaking of that, you should have brought that up in my room, instead of bringing it up in the ring. But yes, you're right. You do want to have that right. So, for you to have that right, that you were going to have to fight some other team, that wants those, that wants the TWF tag team winnings too, So yes, I will let you both have it. Even though you both have to go against a team, you have to go against, hold it, we think that we should have the shot for the TWF tag team winnings. Do you even think of who it was? Well, yeah, and then now Autolycus said, speaking of that, we think it wasn't Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, who had those straps. But we don't know. Andrade Cien. So, Here's how we're going to do this. We're going to have Angel Garza and now Grunt, and Albert, Grante Ciambis, and if they win, they become the new TWF Tag Team Fighters. If you win, you two win. You become the new TWF Tag Team Fighters. There. Well, we got a good match, going on here today. Here in the Toy Wrestling Gathering, Gorilla Monsoon says. Here in NXT. And we're most likely going to... And now we know either Luke Gallows or Cal Anderson will be winning it. Or no Grunt, a Grunto Ciambis, or Angel Garza are going to go for us. And it looks like it's going to be Alberto Ciambis going at it here. Meaning, match gets underway here. And down they go. And a body slam. Another one. And so far, everything is going good. Girl Monsoon says. Well, Pat McAfee says. Well, and anyway, we know Pat McAfee says we know that whoever wins is going to be seeing themselves as the new TWF Tag Team Fighters, or have a shot for the TWF Tag Team winnings, Pat McAfee says. Yep, that is the thought, Booker T said. I think Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford are the ones who want it back, before all this stuff happened. And Alberto is in a bind right now, Booker T says. These two don't get along. Don't like each other. And even when they were both teaming up in WWE, it didn't quite work out for them, did it? Yeah, well, whose mistake it was? It was Selena Vega's mistake for not keeping them, not having Ciambis and Angel Garza worked that well. But then it was lack of leadership, not of lack of will. Know what I mean? Yeah, but do you really think do you truly think Alberto, Ciambis can really win this match? I think he's got as much luck as anyone else does, Girl Monsoon said. Now would you stop? And a drop kick. And now on the Fight Lord, Fight Keeper falls down by mistake. Now Creo, brings in Angel Garza now, who comes after them. Oh! And Cal Anderson's in a bind right now, Girl Monsoon says. And he needs to get Luke Gallows in, which now he does. Yeah, well, this is not going to go good. I already know who the losers are going to be, Booker T says. And they're going to be Alberto, Ciambis, and Angel Garza. Would you stop? Girl Monsoon says. Now, one you got to know, Pat McAfee says, is who's going to be... You got to know, Pat McAfee says, you're going to wonder, how any one of these teams will handle if they win the TWF Tag Team winnings. And they do. I wonder how it's going to be like if they win them. Pat McAfee says. Yep, you're going to want to know that. Pat McAfee said, yeah. Girl Monsoon said, whoever wins this match, we'll see what kind of tag team they're going to be. Andrade Cien has got knocked off by Kyle Anderson, so he couldn't break up the 1-2-3 that was happening. Gorilla Monsoon says, oh, he tripped. That's what he did. Booker T said he tripped. I didn't see that. I saw Kyle Anderson knock him off the rope. Gorilla Monsoon said, would you stop? 1, 2, 3. Ding-ding-ding. Here, ding-ding-ding. Here is your winner and the new TWF Tag Team Fighters, Kyle Anderson and Luke Gallows. Well, Gorilla Monsoon said now we got new TWF Tag Team Fighters. And this only came about because really someone truly forgot about, it came about because someone, truly forgot, who the TWF Tag Team Fighters were. But now we know that we got Luke Gallows and Kyle Anderson, even though I don't really think they should have won it. Gorilla Monsoon says, well, now the mystery, now that unknown is done now. Pat McAfee says, now we know who the TWF Tag Team Fighters are again. I mean, we do. And I think they're going to go on to do some, truly good things. I think it was a good call that Autolycus made. A good call. Booker T says he did that because he forgot who the TWF Tag Team Fighters were. And he made that match. So I don't think it was a good call. Well, it was a good call. Gorilla Monsoon said, if you forget who has what strap, then sometimes you have to put it on someone else. And I do think Autolycus did make that truly good call. Stand up! Alright, take it away now, Gene Okerlund. Well, thank you, Gorilla Monsoon. I'm going to be talking, with the new TWF Tag Team Fighters, Luke Gallows and Kyle Anderson. How does it feel knowing that you're now the TWF Tag Team Fighters? Well, I know it was something that we did before. We know it's something that we did in the past, and we did again. And no one quite knew who won the straps. We think it was Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. If that is, then we're owing them a match, I believe. Well, to tell you the truth, Gene Okerlund, it is great to know that we are the TWF Tag Team Fighters. And as Luke says, if it is Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford that won them, and they were the ones that had them, then we're going to have to owe them a tag team match sometime down the road, down the street. So what you're saying is that what you're saying is that you got to believe that when Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. And if it comes out that it is them, and it was them, then you owe them another match. Am I getting that right? Yes, you are getting that right. That is what's going to happen. If it comes out that Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford were the TWF Tag Team Fighters, then yes, we will give them that match. But we're not going to make it smooth for anyone, that's the thing. We worked hard to become the 2-time TWF Tag Team Fighters, or how many times did we win it? And winning them back the way we did, whoever it ends up being, they're going to be in a fight for their life. Well, we do know that is your game goal. Alright, that's my talk with Angelo Dawkins. That's my talk with Kyle Anderson and Luke Gallows, the TWF Tag Team Fighters. Back to you, Gorilla Monsoon. Well, thank you, Gene Okerlund, for talking with Kyle Anderson and Luke Gallows here today on NXT. And that's all the time we got it for NXT. I, Gorilla Monsoon, with with Pat McAfee and Booker T. We hope you like NXT, and we'll see you tomorrow for Dynamite or Mike.